Types of waves. So we have to start out by asking ourselves, what is a wave? Well, in our daily lives, we see waves everywhere, but when we try to put a physics definition on it, it's a little harder. So a wave is a transfer of momentum and energy, but not just any transfer. So a wave has no permanent transfer of mass. The mass will move, usually in an oscillation, but it comes back to where it started. So we can also classify waves based on how they're formed. Okay, the first one is a transverse wave. So this is what we kind of traditionally think of as looking like a wave. And these can be either horizontal or vertical. The example here is with a slinky. The other way is longitudinal. So this is when I put a compression through the slinky, all right, and then I get this wave traveling down the length of the slinky. Doesn't look so much like our original transverse wave, but it's still a transfer of energy and momentum without a permanent shift in where the mass is located. So if you want to remember these, trans means across. So the motion is across from the way the energy is transferred. Longitudinal is kind of what it looks like. It's side to side. We can also classify waves based on what they travel through. They can travel through a medium, so through a slinky or a string, or it can be something we can't see, like a sound wave. Those travel through air, water, even through walls sometimes. So that's all well and good. That's what we usually think of as waves. But some waves also travel through no medium at all, otherwise known as a vacuum. So the most classic example of this is light waves. They can travel through a vacuum, although you can also have light transmitted through, say, air. Light can travel through absolutely no medium at all. The next way we can classify waves is based on how they travel. They can be circular, or they can go in a plane. Now, technically waves do both, but a lot of times we'll treat a circular wave as a plane wave in certain circumstances to make it easier to deal with. So here's an animation. A plane wave is just a geometric plane, and it's moving forward. And so you can see that wave front shifting upwards in this case. Or you can see the circular wave, which has a point of origin and then it's spreading outwards. If you look at any one of the single arrows in the bottom picture and look very close to the arrow, you can see how in that very small scale, it's essentially a plane wave. The last thing that we can classify waves based on is their source. So you can have a single pulse. So if I pulse, say, a slinky or a string just once, I'm going to get a pulse wave moving through that medium. Or I can have a periodic wave. And this is when I periodically provide a pulse, and then it travels through, and this is where we get that very classic looking wave shape.